could care less about that attorney and whatever he feels and thinks about. That family has ignored phone calls. That girl used to live there.
What's going on? What's going on? Be like Mike on the screen. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. That's what he does all day, all night. He hits the like. Be like Mike. Go ahead and touch it. Reach out and touch that like button. What's going on, everybody? What's happening? Who's up in here? Mark, what's going on? Single mom, true crime. How are you? How are you? Carol, I know you're in here. I know you are. Doug's broomstick is in the house. Can y'all hear me good with this mic? This thing is new to me. Shout out to you know who. Oh, Miss Joanne's in here. Once again, thank you for the microphone. I love this thing. Y'all can hear me good, right? I don't see Miss Joanne. What's up, Trust Jesus? What's happening? Yo, what's up? What's up? What's going on? So, how are y'all doing? Hi, Carol. So, as promised, Justice for Crumb Dread. We have the mom coming on here. Her name is Tamika Harris. You can find I got her social medias, all of them in the description box. If you guys want to follow her, I have her Instagram, her Twitter, her TikTok, Facebook. It's all in the description box there. She did not ask me, but I asked her for her Cash App, which I included in the description box as well. Carol, I'm sure you're going to drop her social links throughout this. She's got the StreamYard link, so we'll give her a minute. And I'm just gonna let her talk. You know what I mean? Kind of learn about this. This all stemmed from Carol, y'all. Shout out to Carol, but I like to help this family if possible. Me and Noelle were on the phone last night with a young woman that we had on panel last live, and she was telling us a lot of stuff. Let me see who's in here. Tamika's in there. Who is? Tamika. Oh, Tamika's in the chat. Hey, how are you? You're here. It may be easier for you, Tamika, if I can drop the link in the chat and you can just kind of you can just hit it on your screen. That might be easier as well. However you want to do it. What's up, Raven? How are you? Roses are red. What's going on? So I just want to give her the mic. I want to, I have a whole bunch of posters that I'll put on the screen. We got, and I'll be uploading them on my community page so you guys can get them. This case is out of California. Trying to bring some awareness to it. Try to get some eyeballs on it. Legacy Media is not covering it. Did she want the link? Let me do that for her. Help her out, guys. The link, I just dropped it now. Why is this thing down here? What is this thing doing here? What is this doing? Let's get rid of this. What is this thing? They got a chat bot thing down there at the bottom where I put my comments at. It's kind of right in the way. So I dropped the link for her, guys, if you want to help her out. Give me 1 second to get where I'm going. Almost there. Only 10 likes, really? That's it? Come on, guys. Not sure how to click the link. Just touch it. Just reach out and touch just touch it in the comment section. Or you can click the second one that I texted you and it'll bring you over here. Okay, let me try that. All right. I've been invested in trying to help find Corey. Really? Single mom true crime. Didn't know that. I didn't see a lot of YouTubers covering this over here on the platform. A little bit on Facebook. I saw mostly on TikTok. Didn't see anything on Twitter. That's interesting. Good for you. Good for you. 24 ain't enough, LOL. That's it? Glad you're covering this. Look, if we can help, we will. That's what we'll do with the channel. You guys know that. Like the clown, like the joke, the drama is fun. But I'm always going to do that type of stuff. There's always going to be some knucklehead and some tragedy pimp, some scammer that we'll have laughs about. I do like to use the channel to help families, man. And listen, to be honest, guys, this all come from moderator Carol. She made this whole connection happen. And it really doesn't take much for people to reach out to people who need awareness in situations. It's just a DM or whatnot. And hey, my friend's a YouTuber, this and that. And it gets more eyes on their situation. You know what I mean? This is a crazy case. It's almost tied into other missing people. That's more on the conspiracy level of it at the end. It is got a lot of wormholes and stuff. But I just want to introduce Miss Tamika first. Yeah, no worries. Looks like she's having trouble with the link. Roses. Yes, I'm working on other cases with Carol Smith. Oh, you put Carol out there, did you? Carol's good people. Carol's a good person. All right, so I believe she's having trouble with the link. Let me give her a buzz right quick. We walk her through it. Not a problem. Probably better that I do call her because we don't want to have the echo problem from YouTube. You guys know what I mean? Okay, let's see.
Hi, man. I'm trying. My stuff is acting funky.
Oh, it's okay. Did you get the link that has the StreamYards on it?
Yeah.
So that second link, if you just click that what I texted you, if you just click it, touch it, it'll bring you right over here, right up here with me. It's going to ask you to allow access for your microphone and camera or whatnot. But yeah, I'll resend it for you if you want.
Okay.
What I would do though before you hit it is close out the YouTube. That because sometimes if you have both of them going, there's kind of an echo. So just close out the YouTube because you're going to be on the panel. You're going to be in the YouTube here in a minute.
Okay.
All right. So I'll resend it to you.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Let's give her a sec. Put some comments on the screen till then. What's up, Raven? I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just offering any help. Oh, I figured by your name that you were. Okay, gotcha. You're kind of like a sleuth. Gotcha. Hey, that's cool too. Look, to be honest, YouTubers just present it. There's a lot of people in this chat. A lot of familiar names in this chat. I don't single-handedly put anybody out there. But as I'm scrolling through these names, I talk to a lot of these people in this chat, and they help me. They help me with research. Like this is with Carol. Some of them help me with dirt. Maybe they find articles with broomsticks. They help me, and I'll admit that to you guys. I don't care, but trust and believe every true crime channel. It's going down the same way. It's going down the same way. You know what I mean? I will admit it because I work. Do I do my own research? Of course, but it's a lot of times people help. Just keep it real. TI music is one of the people. Okay. Didn't see. Let me look at the comments. Oh, TI music. Sorry. What's going on? Welcome. Prayers for everyone in this horrible situation. Absolutely. Carol, grab that link if you want in the chat and maybe share it to her. Resend it. I sent it, but I don't know what the what she's having a problem with. Let me try to. Oh, there she goes, right there.
Hey,
You got it together. You got it together, Miss Tamika. How are you? Good
I'm
evening.
trying. I am looking crazy because I'm actually recovering from the flu. So
It's
I've been
okay.
kind of down all week or pretty much since Thanksgiving. But
Not a problem.
I think I'm on the mend now.
Right on. Good. Good for you. How you been holding up?
Hmm. Some days are better than others. But I think right now, a lot of my strength is coming from being my son Corey's voice, his mouthpiece, and the fact that I'm kind of like a dog with a bone, and I'm not going to let this go
Of
until I
course.
get answers and until I get justice um, in regards to my son. Because I'm one of the people that believe that a person just does not fall off the face of the earth, never to be seen from and heard from again.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. There's a. I was telling you last night on the phone a little bit. There's another family we help, and they have a similar situation with a little girl where it just something like not. It's not the same at all, but it as far as what you just said, from what authorities said, that's just what happened. Yeah, I can only imagine what you're going through, but a lot of people on YouTube, but don't are not familiar with this. I had Samara on. Am I saying her name right? Samara.
Samara. Mm-hmm.
Super knowledgeable. I played a few of Ruben's videos,
Mm-hmm.
and Carol, she's in the chat. Carol's been really helping me with information
Carol has
on
been
this.
awesome.
Carol
They
is
all
awesome.
have been awesome. Samara, Ruben, um, they have been awesome. What's crazy is my son, through this process, I found out my son has a village, not even a village, a nation of people that care about him and love him just as much as I do. And that has really, really, really helped me. Um, just to know that there's a lot of people out here that care about him and they want answers just the same as I do.
So what I guess tell everybody just kind of explain to people where you're at and kind of what happened here, because on YouTube you don't see too many people covering this. I know the media hasn't really covered it probably to the extent that you want them to. I know you did say they ran a couple things the other night, but for the people who are unaware of what's going on, just kind of give them just bring everybody up to speed, I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, my son, his name is Corey Daniely. And just to give you a little background with Corey, Corey is a musician, a Bay Area musician. His band is called Crumb Dread. And if you go on to like YouTube or even Facebook, Instagram, and you type in Crumb Dread, you will see videos of his band. He's even been in the recording studio. Very talented individual. He writes, sings, and plays um, his own music. And so we're originally from San Diego. I kind of moved back to the Midwest because of the cost of living once my kids got up. But my son moved to the Bay Area. He was about 18 and he fell in love with it. And he's a self-taught musician. And so fast forwarded to August 7th. Um, August 8th, a post came across his Facebook page from Zach Styles saying, "Has anybody seen Corey? I have his phone, I have his backpack, and I have his clothes." And he wrote this message across Corey's Facebook page. I actually was at church, and my daughter screenshot me and said, "Mom, look at this." Matter of fact, she put it in a group chat between me, my husband, and my other kids, Corey's siblings, and said, "You guys, look at this." And she didn't feel good about it. And so I kind of had this strange feeling. And so I immediately walk out to church because I was kind of at a rehearsal. And I called Zach Styles on Facebook Messenger. And I'm like, what is this about my son being missing? You know, what happened? And Zach, first of all, was very, very erratic and weird acting. And so he kind of was like, well, you know, Corey's my friend and he's my brother and I love him so much, yada, yada, yada. And I'm trying to get out of him, well, what exactly happened? What took place? That my son is not in possession of his phone and his things since the morning of August 7th. So Zach goes on to say, well, Corey and a young guy at the house they were at named Dylan Thompson got into an altercation, and that Dylan started the altercation. And for whatever happened, Corey walked away from this residence at 3:00 a.m. on August 7th.
August 7th, okay.
Leaving behind his phone, his backpack, and his clothes. And so I go on to ask Zach, okay, well, what was Corey wearing at this time? And he said, some red sweatpants and some sneakers. And he kind of left it at that. So I said, okay, well, what kind of shirt was he wearing? What color shirt? And he kind of was going back and forth. First he said he was wearing a shirt, then he said he wasn't wearing a shirt. So I'm like, well, if he wasn't wearing a shirt, where was his shirt? Why wasn't he wearing a shirt? And he said, I said, did he take his shirt off? You know, did something happen during the altercation? And he couldn't remember. I said, did they tear it off of him or, you know, what happened? He said, I don't remember. I said, well, where is the shirt? He said, well, I don't remember. And so I said, well, second of all, what were you guys doing outside at 3:00 in the morning in Kerman, California, of all places? Because I know my son really has no ties to Kerman. He doesn't hang out in Central California. Like I said, he was raised in San Diego, so you would catch him sometimes in Southern Cal between San Diego and Los Angeles, or for the most part in Santa Rosa, the Bay Area, because that's where he's from. And I said, so what were you guys doing in Kerman? And then outside at 3:00 in the morning, Zach tells me they were barbecuing at 3:00 in the morning. I'm like, that really makes no sense, but hey, you know, it was his birthday. Maybe you guys were intoxicated. You know, I don't know. And so then I said, when Corey walked away, did someone go after him? I said, did you go after him, especially if this is your brother and your best friend? And, you know, Zach is crying and kind of shape shifting with me on the phone. And he said, no, I didn't go after him. I said, well, what did you do? I said, matter of fact, what did you do when him and this Dylan so-called got into this altercation? He told me he sat Indian style on the ground, in the middle of the ground, and he started praying. And I said, so when Dylan went after Corey, did he talk to him? Did he bring him back? What happened? And he said, no, Dylan came back by himself. I said, well, did you make an attempt to go after him? And he said, no. He said, I just sat on the porch waiting for them to open the door back to the house that they were at so I can go in and get Corey's things. And so then I said, okay, well, do you think, because I put it this way, Zach was talking to me like I had no idea about Kerman, California. And I'm like, I know that's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's outside of Fresno, just farmland, orchards,
Uh,
you know,
Did
corn.
you grow up in California? Is that where you guys are originally from? California?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And so when I'm like, I've been to Fresno, I've been to Kermit. I actually lived outside of a half hour outside of Fresno for a spell. So I know exactly where that is. And he was just stuttering. I'm like, that is no place that somebody would just kind of go to on purpose. The last time I had spoke to my son Corey was a week before his birthday because I cash tapped him money for his birthday. And so the last time I heard his voice was on July around the 26th or the 27th. He called me. He told me he was on his way to Los Angeles because he had a job lined up and he was going to meet up with a producer.
Huh.
That was the last time I heard his voice. The last time I had any communication with Corey was on July 30th after I cashed app him for his birthday a week earlier. And he told me thank you and he loved me. That again, he was on his way to LA. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I love you. Be safe. I'll talk to you next week because it was his birthday. And I text him for his birthday on August 7th. I text him, hey, happy birthday. I love you. He didn't respond. He didn't even look at the messages. Uh, and a red flag didn't really go up with me because I'm like, okay, maybe it's his birthday. He's celebrating. I know he pretty much, as a musician, always stayed glued to his phone. But I'm like, maybe he didn't, you know, maybe he's out and about or whatever because I know he was traveling. And so all that day I looked to see how he viewed my messages and he hadn't viewed my messages. And so I even went on to Instagram Messenger where we talked a lot. And I wished
Right.
him a happy birthday and I sent him, little posters. He hadn't viewed them. And so by the night of August 7th, he still hadn't viewed or responded, which he normally would respond right away. And he still hadn't posted anything on any of his social media. It's like went quiet. And so the night of August 8th is when I talked to Zach. And Zach was telling me all this different stuff.
How do you
And
seem? Like, how was his vibe when you were talking to him? How was his
he
laugh?
just was really like nervous, iffy, but then kind of relaxed, like, yeah, it was weird. It's like he was on something.
Yeah.
And then our call dropped. And I still have all the texts in my phone. Our call dropped and my heart dropped because in my heart of hearts, I knew something was wrong when that call dropped. And when it came back, he made a joke and he kind of said, haha, mama, sorry, I'm driving through the mountains. Sorry, our call dropped, but I'll keep you posted. He sent that in a text. And then from that, after that point, I said, well, if you have my son's phone and his things, can you please just turn them in to the authorities? And he said, oh, I don't do cops. I don't do law enforcement. He was really nervous. I said, well, I need my son's stuff. And it's like I was getting pushback on him turning in my son's stuff. And then he graduated to calling me from my son's phone for about a week and a half, calling me, my husband, my son's friends. He also was scouring all of my son's social media accounts because the day of the 9th, um, my daughters came and said, hey, Mom, I think Corey's been on his Facebook and his Instagram and all of that good stuff. And so Corey's my grandson's mother, my son has a son that's almost 2. She messaged me and she said, hey, I think Corey's fine because I see he's active on his SoundCloud. And so
Amazing. You can see people active. I know what you mean. The little bubble, like even on Messenger, you can tell. You can kind of snoop on people because you can tell when they're active or not.
Mm-hmm. And so that kind of gave us a glimmer of hope. But then I messaged Zach and I said, Zach, are you on my son's social media? And he said yes. And I said, why? He said, I just want to see if anybody has heard anything. I'm like, but don't you think they would contact myself, before they do anything like that? I said, and have you been on his SoundCloud? Because in my mind, I'm like, what reason would you have to go on his SoundCloud account? He said, yes, I was on his SoundCloud. And so he tried to lead me to believe, hey, he'll turn up. Maybe he just hitchhiked back to the Bay. And I'm like, but that's a 4-hour drive. It just didn't sit right with me. So by that Friday, my son's band had 2 shows in Ukiah, California. And all of us held out hope that maybe he had found some way to get back up to the Bay and that he would show up to his performances, because he never misses a performance. But he never showed up. And in the process of my son's bandmates communicating with me saying, hey, what do we do? He's not here. We don't want to go on without him. They were just looking for direction. In the midst of that, Zach started texting my son's bandmate, trying to get him to meet up with him so he could drop off his phone. Zach had went from Fresno County to Sonoma County to try and drop off my son's phone. And I said, well, why would he do that? And so my son's bandmate was like, he had his son with him. He's like, well, Miss Harris, if you want me to, I can go get his phone. And I said, no, because this dude sounds like he's not wrapped too tight. I said, I don't want you to be at risk, and I don't want you to he had a 4-year-old kid with him. And I'm like, no. And so we played this game of back and forth with Zach, trying to get this phone. I want to say it took about 12 days for him to turn my son's phone in to the Sonoma County Sheriff. And from that point, the Fresno County Sheriffs, where we had opened up a
How many days did it take? How many days?
I want to say it was about 12.
Really?
Yeah.
They didn't ask him like why'd you have it so long?
Honestly, I don't know what they asked him, but I just know that I kept pressing them. I kept pressing Zach, and I kept pressing the authorities, because by day 3, my husband and I had filed missing persons. And it wasn't until, I want to say, Friday, August 10th, because I had really just prayed, and I was like, I need a clue. I need, some vision. I don't want to think nothing has happened to him. But in my heart of hearts, as a parent, I had a very, very, very unsettling feeling. And when I tried to go to sleep, I don't know if I was in a deep sleep cycle or what, but it's just like I had an outer body experience, and I kind of was standing there looking at kind of something that took place between these 4 or 5 people and my son. And it was nothing that I could do about it. And it was from that point, it was like a dream. I sat up and I text Zach, and I said, I know what you did to my son. I said, either you directly did it or you had something to do with it. And I said, I'm giving all of your names to the authorities. I said, I'm not a rich woman, but I have a big social media following, and I'm going to make all of you famous because I'm going to put your names out there. And so then Zach freaked out so bad. And so then he called us crying, oh, he's my brother. He's this, he's that, but he still would not give us straight answers. He would not give us straight answers. He told so many lies. I asked him when was the last, give me the exact location where he last saw Corey, and he screenshotted a pin, but it placed him 182 miles away.
That's where he pinned at.
Yeah.
Huh.
And he sent it to me from my son's phone.
Okay.
Corey, yeah, Zach's mom, while my son was missing, Zach's mom washed my son's clothes. And it was a big thing because I kept pressing the authorities. And authorities, the biggest thing at first is they wanted to find the location of this house that my son supposedly, the last known place he was at in Kerman. And
sorry. You know, this is a comment is pretty good. It's by brutally honest. They said that the police should make the effort to see if they can retrieve the deleted data. If it's not overwritten, that it could be possible to retrieve the data. But that's probably what you're going into now. What they tried to see where his location was, where his last whereabouts were.
They were trying, and the Fresno police is not dealing with this. It's the Fresno sheriff. And also we did do a FBI missing person report. But this took place in August. I want to say and it was a missing person. By the end of August, because through this process where I'm at in the Midwest, I had to go and I had to give about 6 swabs of my DNA. And by then I had did an interview with ABC Fresno, Channel 30. They began to hound the Fresno County sheriffs with different questions. That's when the case really began to move. And they served a search warrant on the house. They did a search warrant on the cars. They finally had got my son's phone. They still haven't got his clothes. And it took a long time for them to get the results of the rip that they did on my son's phone. But when they got the results, the detective did not directly tell me what they found. But he said he was alarmed by how much Zach Stiles used my son's phone while he was missing. And that is when they upgraded my son's case to a homicide case. They really didn't give me much else. But whatever they found in that phone, and to this day, I don't know. That is when they upgraded my son's case to a homicide. And that was back, I want to say, at the beginning of September to the end of August.
So it went literally overnight from a missing persons case to a homicide, and they contacted you, and is that all they told you?
All they could tell me, it's kind of like they are very careful in what they tell me, but at the same time, I'm figuring a lot of stuff out, and they're kind of like, well, how did you know that? And then the fact is that I'm talking directly to a lot of my son's friends and probably enemies of Zach and of different people that was with that group. You know, in my heart of hearts, I feel like Zach pre-planned whatever he was going to do to my son before they left the Bay Area. Because a couple of my son's friends down in San Diego, and these are reputable friends that he grew up with, that I remember when he was a little boy, they said that Zach was with my son and there was a female. And my son was really annoyed with kind of both of them, and he was kind of trying to get away from them. And the biggest thing, my son was trying to get back to the Bay. but he was kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place with Zach and them. I do kind of know that. And Zach had told me, Zach had lied about everything when he talked to me. But the one truth that he did say was my son was very, very annoyed because he just wanted to go home. And for some reason, I think Zach was trying to prevent him from going home. And to further that, the one thing the detectives did tell me is one of the main communications that they seen from my son leading up. I think his last communication on his phone went out maybe August 5th, August 6th, was that he wanted to go home, and he was very upset because he wanted to get back up to Santa Rosa, but it's like he was stuck.
So,
And
Miss
so
Harris, I just want to say salute to you, salute to Matt, White Boy Lockdown Radio. Appreciate him for allowing me up. Again, I'm listening to your stories. It's amazing stories. So you're saying your son, again, we're gonna say that he's still. Hopefully, I'm hoping. I don't know because I lived over in Washington. I heard that you was like in the Oregon area. My question to you is, since August he's been missing, and you said Zach had his phone for those 12 days. My question is that why wouldn't the police go to Zach's local? Why couldn't Zach go to the local police department versus having to travel to a certain distance? I'm just curious.
I have no idea, because when I want to say day 2 or 3, when Corey was missing, I kept messaging Zach because Zach not only had my phone and his own cell phone, he started using other cell phones, and he was texting me from other numbers. And I'm like, Zach, please go turn my son's phone in to the authorities. Please.
And I hate to cut you off, Ms. Harris. So my question to you is, and again, I'm just asking because I don't know. Again, I'm stepping in the scene. How would you know that was Zach that was calling from the other cell phones? Did he acknowledge that, oh, this is Zach? If you said he was calling from multiple cell phones, and why would he call from those multiple phones? Or did the police ask you for those numbers?
They didn't ask me, but I gave them to him. And yes, he did. This is Zach. I'm still looking and I'm praying for Corey, those type deals. And then he also was messaging a lot of their mutual friends. And the mutual friends were screenshotting these conversations and sending them to me. Right. And also sending them to the authorities.
So in their music, if you don't mind me asking, because I know he was a musician, was it like an alternative? Because I know on the West Coast they play it different. They got raves and all that. So was that like an alternative music, or was it like really edgy, like to the point where you see the Led Zeppelin? I'm just using different than that because I'm trying to paint the picture of it. Was
kind of reggae, hip hop, soul, type deal.
Okay, so him being reggae is your nationality over there as far as overseas, or did he just adopt that type of culture?
He just adapted to that. He listened and played all kinds of music, but as a recording artist, if you listen to his music that he's recorded, it's kind of more reggae, kind of hip-hop-ish. It's a blend.
Okay. This is Cross Your Heart podcast. He's another creator on YouTube. He's got a whole different community with a different group of subscribers. I try to tell you, I bring as many people and connect you with many people as I can on here. Even the other families that I help, I'm still gonna do that for you. So that's who is Cross.
And definitely I'll get with Matt, and I would love to have you on the podcast, to go a little bit further more, because I think this is a very interesting story. So, and if you don't mind, if you can go back for me. So they were taking it's his birthday. They're taking a trip, heading out of town. What? So Zach was who? So who orchestrated the whole trip thing for his birthday? Was Zach the main ringleader, or was there other people involved as far as this whole thing?
That's the thing. I don't know. I know the trip was to Southern California. How they ended up in Kerman, I don't know. Because, like I said, my son is one I know for a fact did not frequent Central California.
When after the police told you that this is going to go to a homicide from a missing persons case, they haven't shown any evidence like to back that statement up. I know they can only say so much or whatever. That's when this guy Zach got with the phone, the friend, that's when he takes off to Maui.
He took off to Maui. I didn't even know he took off to Maui. It actually was Samara and other people because for a while I kind of had to back up from social media because I was so upset. Yes, I'm a grieving mother, but I also was getting very enraged. So it's one of those deals where I'm like, I don't care if I go to jail type deal. So I was like, I need to kind of back up. And it wasn't until I started getting different little messages and my phone was just pinging, hey, did you know Zach is in Maui? Because he was getting a lot of death threats from my son's friends in the Bay. And he was dealing with too much pressure and too much flack in regard to this case because it got to a point where he could not move around easily in Northern Cal, or pretty much around California, period, because his name was out there so bad. And he was getting a lot of death threats. And his mother, it's crazy because his mother, within, I want to say, a week or two after this happened, his mother even went on to Facebook and she put a cryptic message up saying, hey, does anybody have a loaner phone? No questions asked. Just being real cryptic. I will pay you cash type deal, to get a loaner phone. So she's kind of been covering for him. But somehow they got him out of California into Hawaii. I'm not sure if he's still there, but it's like they're covering up for him. But I do know that it's about 5 people involved with what happened to my son. Whatever they did to him.
So, Ms. Harrison, I'm sorry, Matt, because I didn't know anything. That mind blown with this Maui thing. So
it's okay. Listen, it is a wormhole, not only in itself, but once you watch this, once you completely comprehend it, there's even ties to other missing person.
Yes, it is. And that's what enrages me.
You gotta help her if you can, man.
When I found out about Michael Bryson and when I found out about Forrest Dimick, because first of all, I'm like, no person should have to go through this, especially no parent. And it's one thing, of course, no parent wants anything to happen to their child.
Just to catch everybody up. Just sorry to interrupt you. Just to catch everybody up, those 2 names are other missing person cases. Correct. Mm-hmm. Both those cases, did they just up and disappear from their families, kind of like Corey's situation, or was it
Michael Bryson was weird? Get this: on August 5th, 2021, Michael Bryson went to a camp out in Oregon with somebody that's mutual friends with Zach Styles. Something happened and Michael Bryson ended up walking away from this campfire in the wee hours of August 5th at about 2 or 3 a.m., leaving his phone and his clothes and they have not seen or heard from him since. Almost the same exact case as my son Corey's, except, and I've linked up with Michael Bryson's parents, and I talked to Michael Bryson's mom. She's still upset because Michael Bryson's case is still considered as a missing persons case, uh, with suspected foul play. My son's case has been upgraded to a homicide, but her son's case is still a missing person, and she's not happy about that.
So, Miss Harris, I got a question to ask you. So, is Zachary family, or is he related to somebody with money? Is this like, would this be something tied to his family? How would he ever have the funds to get to? I'm just blown away about the Maui thing. How did he get the funds to get away? And you know what I'm saying? Like, and how did you find out? I know you said they were pinging you, but could you remember who was the first one that gave you a clue? Maybe it could have been these people that were close to him that gave you a clue that maybe he was in Maui or something.
I think.
Oh no! Somebody I think he posted on. Somebody went to his Facebook page or his mom's Facebook page and seen that he was in Maui.
So and he did this right after he turns the phone in. That the detectives call you. Was it detectives called you or the police?
No, something told me to call them because I was bugging them every day.
And what have you told them, like, hey, this guy, has gone to Maui, or they just kind of? I do know from helping other families that it unfortunately it's a weird situation because it's your son, you're the one grieving, and it's frustrating because they're very limited on information with you, and it's that's got to be like so frustrating.
Right.
First of all, the authorities say, this is what they tell me, and it could be something, like I said, a lot of things that they're not telling me, because this is, as of December 7th, this will be month number 4 that my son is missing, and I have no answers. The authorities say that what they have kind of is purely circumstantial, so they can't really hold any of the people involved. Although it's kind of like they know that they had something to do with it, but they don't have anything concrete.
So what about when they grabbed this phone? Have they told you anything? Was there anything? Because you always can pull up the deletion, and if he's called, because if Zach called from different phones, but he also called from his phone, wouldn't that have shown like the different areas or spots that he was at? Did they give you like any of his ping locations from those calls from the towers?
If they did, they won't tell me.
Yeah, they it seems like she said they wanted the phone for the data to find out where his last location is, and then they're not gonna they probably have the data. They probably it seems like from what she just said is that he gave the phone in, they got the data, they changed it from missing persons to homicide without showing anything else, telling her anything else. And then so they know where he was, they're putting it together, dude books it to Maui, but they don't, it's like he has just enough on the, it's complicated. I can't say that because there's no evidence.
Right.
Difficult.
Yeah. Zach turned in my son's phone within maybe, like I said, about 12 days, a week and a half, almost 2 weeks after he had it. He took it up to Sonoma County. The detective from the Fresno County Sheriff's had to drive up to Sonoma County to get the phone because the case and everything was open in the Fresno County jurisdiction. So he had my son had an iPhone. So he had his phone for, like I said, almost 2 weeks. And he called us quite a bit from my son's phone, which really pissed me off. And he texts and called a lot of my son's friends uh, from my son's phone. And like I said, the one thing that the detective, when they, because it took them about almost a month, 3 weeks to a month before I was even told about the results of the phone, because the detective said Verizon was, they really were kind of like dragging their feet with the
Right.
results of the search of the phone. But in the meantime, while they were waiting to get those analysis back, they issued a search warrant for the house that supposedly my son was at. They did a search warrant for all the cars. They did use the cadaver dogs and use the irrigation canals and to search the irrigation canals, planes and drones and all of that stuff. I actually flew out and walked the area myself uh, within maybe that second week that my son was missing. I flew out to California and I went to Kerman and I walked near the house in the area where supposedly my son was last missing. And as a mother, I said, you know, I felt in my heart that my son was possibly there, but that is not where he ended up, that they did something to him and that they took his body somewhere. And I feel that my son's body was in the car with Zach when he was talking to me the night of the 8th when the call dropped. I've always felt that in my heart of hearts, that whatever he did something, whatever he did to my son was in that car, and that my son possibly even heard my voice, because I believe that's how sadistic that these people are.
So Ms. Harrison, I know you'll go deep, and I apologize, Matt. So as a mother, if you know and you know Zach said since you've known him for young, tell me how did you feel about Zach coming up with Zach? What kind of kid was Zach? And why do you
I
think your son was so attached to Zach so much? What was
I
it
never
about?
knew Zach. I had never
Okay.
heard Zach until the day my son came up missing. I
Wow.
never knew Zach or heard from him. And
Miss
I even asked some of my friends, some of my son's friends that were sending me well wishes and everything. I was like, the like my grandson's mom. I'm like, how long did Corey know Zach? Who is this Zach dude? And why was my son hanging around with him?
Do you
Because
mind?
most people said that this dude was bad news.
You
And I'm
can I
like,
show? Can
why
I
was
show
he
them
hanging
Zach?
around with him? Hmm?
Can I show them Zach?
You sure can.
You sure? I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to upset you or anything like that. I just want to
No,
show this.
not at all. Because I'm dedicating, I want his face to be shown around the nation. Yeah, I had no idea who Zach was.
And all due respect, he looked like, especially on the organ I was on the web, he looked like he like hustle or whatever. Like, so that's why I'm saying it's like
Hmm.
scary, because it could be
Exactly.
more, it could be deeper. You know, as a mother, you already know as some like some was attached. Not saying your son was, but I'm just saying like he looked
Right.
like he tried to put your son in a position of doing something, because he know as a mother,
Hmm.
he tell you he going here, but if they going this way, it's some other stuff that, again, it was again, quote unquote, allegedly could have been a play that was played, and he
Hmm.
wasn't in this play.
I believe that, and I believe that there's some other names involved: Jason Wisdom and Dylan Thompson. And this Jason Wisdom dude, I believe, I just believe that it was just all some sort of setup. And
Right.
again, when you connect the dots and Michael Bryson disappeared in the same way, in the same manner back in
Right.
2021, and then let's not forget Forrest. You know, they want people to believe, you know, Zach, again, is another common denominator with Forrest Dimick. And fact, I believe it was in 2020. Supposedly, Forrest Dimick uh, cut his own throat, dang near decapitated himself, and they ruled it a suicide. Well, I'm a nurse, and I can tell you that's utterly impossible.
So,
These
Miss Harris,
people
if you don't mind, Miss Harris, somebody said, what state is this so they can look this up because they want to
It's
be able to.
California.
California. Well, my son's case and the Forrest Dimick case, you will find in California. Michael Bryson would be Oregon.
Okay. Man, this is crazy.
It is really crazy. So that's why I was trying to tell you, maybe link up with her on the podcast or something. She needs all the eyes she can get because as you can guess, the media is not covering it as they should. And
I know when you told me about it, I was not prepared. When I'm sitting back here, I was just talking to Damaged Goods. I'm nervous because I'm listening to this story, and I'm like, I do this type of stories on my podcast. We talk about this, and the world don't get a chance to hear this. And I'm literally listening to you say this, and I want to give you your roses because as a mother, I can't imagine. Because again, it's the not knowing. And then you have this person that is somewhere out here in this world. And I just feel like it was something was involved, money, and that was able, because that's why I asked, did he come from a good home? Because if he didn't, especially on the West Coast, money could be involved. It could be a lot of things. And I just felt like he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he didn't want to do whatever it is they wanted him to do. And like you say, that guy looked sadistic to the point. And I'm just going to ask you, because Matt mentioned there was other people. So if you can elaborate, because this is crazy. If you elaborate on the other people, you keep mentioning these names.
Zach Styles, whom
Carol, if you have pictures of the other guy, send them to me.
Was initially trying to tell us what happened with Corey. He threw a guy named Dylan. First, he said he gave us a false name, and we kept digging and digging and digging with him. And he said Dylan Thompson. He did by then. This was maybe that following weekend, and Zach was crying and flipping out on the phone with us, and he was like, Dylan Thompson, Dylan Thompson. Dylan Thompson is the person that Corey got in an altercation with, and Dylan Thompson started the whole thing, and they fought. And Corey walked away. Dylan Thompson started crying, went after Corey, but didn't come back with Corey. And they both just sat on the porch waiting for somebody to open up the door so he can get his things and Corey's things. And that was it. And during this altercation, again, Zach said he sat Indian style praying, wanting them to stop at 3:00 in the morning. This is the stuff he was telling me.
Right, because my thing is, if Corey was getting his things and he rode with Zach, how in the heck Corey is going to get back home? How did they wait?
Right. And how did Zach's mom get Corey's clothes to wash his clothes while Corey was missing?
What?
And I asked the Fresno County sheriffs, I'm like, well, do you have Corey's clothes? And they said, no, they don't have a clue what happened to Corey's clothes. Nobody knows what happens to Corey's clothes.
So you saying Zach's mom washed your son's clothes?
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is crazy.
And supposedly they had to threat because when I was hounding the sheriffs like that first to second week, and I was like, did you go to that house? And they had went to that house quite a few times. It's on South Bishop and Annandale Avenue in Kerman. If you type in if you Google my son's name, Corey Daniely, and ABC Fresno did a couple of stories on him, and they even showed the pictures when the police did the search warrant and they searched the house in regards to looking for my son. That was the first time I had actually seen the house is on the news when they put it on the news. But he He
Oh
threw
man.
this guy under the bus, Dylan Thompson. And but he wouldn't say anyone else. And it wasn't until maybe October I was talking to the detective, and he gave me all three names, saying Jason Wisdom, Zach Stiles, and Dylan Thompson. This was October that the detective finally gave me the three names. And the detective said that these are the most darkest, evilest people he's ever seen in his life.
Wow. What? How did that guy? When you were talking to him, you said he was acting kind of paranoid and like a weird vibe. But what was the conversation? I mean, I know your mind must have been. I know you're just totally stressed out. But was he? Can you think back to what you said? Like, did he say anything awkward that stood out?
He just kept trying to reiterate to me how much he loved my son. But he especially the last phone call I had with him, he was crying and sobbing so bad. My husband and I, we were just kind of listening to him like you like really full of it. And so my husband got to a point, he point blank asked him, Zach, stop putting on a show. If you murdered my son, just say so. The truth will make you free. Oh man, I promise. No, oh man, I love him. He's my bro, man. I just really loved him.
Hmm.
We went in
And
circles with him with that, and it got to a point. From that point, I was very angry, and I was like, if I talk to him again, I'm gonna be on the first thing smoking out to California to find him and to choke it out of him. So I said that's not a good thing for me right now because I was very, very, very angry. And I'm still very
so
angry.
Ms. Harris, so my question to you is, so what time was it when Zach called y'all and then he told y'all? Was it like early in the morning? Was it roundabout? Like you said, 3 o'clock they got to argue. So what, he called you like
He
about
didn't
5
call
or
and tell
something?
us.
Or
He didn't call and tell us. The way we found out was my daughter seen that Zach had made a post on my son's Facebook page asking had anybody seen him. He made a post and said,
wow.
hey, has anybody seen Corey anywhere? If anybody heard from him, because I have his phone and his things. If anybody hears from him, let me know. That's how we found out. My daughter screenshotted and said, Mom, look at this. I'm on the Central Time Zone. This was about 8:30 the night of August 8th. But supposedly, Zach says my son walked away from the house in Kerman at around, he told me about 3 a.m. on August 7th, which was my son's birthday.
Wow. This is how you guys found out he was using the social media too, right?
Yes.
How many posts did he make? What do you think?
Far as I know, as far as looking for Corey, he made that one on Corey's Facebook page. And that was it.
So on his birth, so on your son's birthday, how many posts did your son make? Any posts, or did y'all post
To my
anything and
knowledge,
tag him on the social media? Did y'all call him?
he didn't make any posts on his social media. And yes, on his birthday, we tried to call him, we tried to message him, and we didn't get a response. And my son didn't even look at, you know how when you message somebody, you can see that they looked at it?
Right.
He didn't even look at it. And as a matter of fact, the night of August 8th, after Zach and my call dropped, when he said he was coming through the mountains, about 10 or 11 o'clock, I said, well, because I had hope that maybe my son would have his phone back. And so I text my son's phone and I'm saying, son, if you see this, this is mom. This is 911. Call me. I'm worried about you. What's going on? And Zach had my son's phone and he was looking at these messages. And then after a while, Zach put my son's accounts on quiet mode. And so that really upset me. He put from that point, he put his my son's I guess, his messaging things on quiet mode.
Crazy,
But
man.
he was watching. He was watching August 8th, August 9th, for as long as he had that phone, he was watching the messages and stuff coming through because I would see that he was watching it. But he had the phone on quiet mode. And for a while, he stopped responding to me until I threatened. And that's when he kind of freaked out because I said some crazy stuff to him. And that's when he responded. And matter of fact, he responded when I told him I'm going to the authorities and that I'm going to make him famous on social media.
Gotcha.
That is when he flipped out. And he's like, whoa, wait. Come on, come on, mama, please, mama, no. Calling me mama.
Right. So again, I guess my question to you is that, okay, somebody asked a question, was there any arrest? And also, I hate to ask you, was there a body found?
No arrest. And they
No
have
arrest.
not found a body or any clues of a body. Nothing.
That's gotta make the situation like 10 times harder. There's no closure in this. There's it's just a constant question mark, revolving in her head. You know what I mean? This is such a crazy situation. We got to get these posters shared out on everybody's social media, y'all. I'm gonna post these things I'm putting on the screen on my community, on my Twitter. I'll keep posting each one of these. The best thing you can do is get awareness for her and screenshot this. You can get it right off my community page and get it out there.
By the way, some of these individuals, Dylan Thompson, they're actively watching my TikTok because I constantly kind of put their names out there. So I know they're watching my social media. I know they're watching my social media, and so that's why I put this type of stuff I put on it on purpose.
That's what I was going to ask you, Ms. Harris. So are these real names, or do you think these were alias names that they were given? Because if they were real names, can't they like run the names, or couldn't we be able to find them on these social media platforms?
Well, Zach, you can find. Dylan Thompson, I believe I found the account, but I have my ear to the ground and I have my connections, and I know these are the real people. That's all I can say about that.
Okay.
I think I have a picture of who she's talking about now to get a picture of to go with the story here. Let me see if it went through. Should be this last one here.
Because maybe back in September, I made a post on my Facebook, and it was just a random post, and it was of my son and my grandson, and I said, this is why we need. I said, my grandson deserves to know what happened to his father. I said, this is why we need to catch the guys, and then I said the girl that's involved in this case. And before the end of that day, I got an anonymous message from a girl that claims, I believe she had something to do with the case, or she's related to one of the fellas that did something, because she knew far too many details about what happened to my son. The manner kind of in which
you said this is.
And we recorded a conversation. It was a young lady, And we kind of got her to talking, and we actually recorded the conversation and sent it to the Fresno County Sheriffs. But they're still being really they're being really tight-lipped about a lot of stuff.
Man.
When's the last time they gave you an update on anything?
Kind of I got a small one this past week. They just kind of said no new updates. And that happens to them. But once I start pressing social media, that's when I kind of start getting a lot of little nuggets, or I may get somebody to drop something in my inbox, or, you know, a lot of stuff that's relevant, because there's a lot of stuff I think that I got that the authorities didn't get, that I was giving them. And they're like, well, where did you find this out? Or how did you do this? And I'm like, because one, I'm not afraid of these people, and I'm not going to stop until I get answers.
Right. So you don't mind me asking, do you have you guys already been able to, or because there's nobody and no arrest, did you guys been able to get a lawyer to try to go and dig deep, or is there any kind of law, anything dealing with the law that you can do to have somebody that can represent your family or represent Corey in that matter?
I have no idea. That is what I want to know. I don't know. I've thought about it. What can I do as far as legally to you know, on the legal end of it, but I just don't know. And like I said, these people that are involved with this, they've done this before. And these people have ties to rogue cops, rogue sheriffs, deputies,
Right,
that have done some other stuff. They have ties, you know, they have ties to law enforcement. I believe Zach Styles' mom, she has ties to the Norfolk, California law enforcement. I believe Jason Wisdom. I've heard that his father is an ex sheriff, Merced County sheriff's, but that he did some crazy stuff, and that's why he's an ex-cop. You know, they have links to law enforcement, and so that's another, I believe, barrier that we're kind of hitting, because they know how to hide evidence. There's a reason why Zach pushed back against me and did not want to turn in my son's phone to the Fresno County Sheriff's, but he drives 4 hours, almost a week and a half, 2 weeks later, and turns my son's phone in Sonoma County, I think in Sebastopol or something like that, to the sheriff's, because, well, one of his friends that's linked to the whole thing with Forrest Dimmick, father is a retired Sonoma County sheriff officer. So it's just so many twists and turns, you know. I believe that's how Forrest Dimmick's case was ruled a suicide and not a murder, because of the ties to the rogue cops.
right. Man, this is really a crazy story. So if you don't mind me asking, I know he's not here, but your husband, how is he taking? He's saying just wait to see what happens, or is I know you say you guys are both at like a dead end. So I mean, what you know, what's the next move besides? Because like I said, I'm willing to help Matt, you know, to get this story out. But you know, again, what you know is the shine light, but also find out, because I know at his age, does it make it difficult for them to say? Because you said they upgraded it to a homicide. That's why I'm just curious. They upgraded to a homicide, so they should be on their job then.
I think they know something. They're just not. It sucks because they can't let her know as much as they probably want to because they don't want it to get out or whatever. Who knows what they're thinking, but that's the way they got to, you know what I mean? With the
Right.
missing people cases and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Nice.
Carol, what is this picture that you sent me? Carol?
Like I said, it's like what Matt said. They know something. I believe they know something. They just not really telling the family until they, I guess, get their ducks in a row. But it's like what everybody has said, because I don't have a body. I have no closure. I have so many questions, yeah, his case has been upgraded to a homicide, but because I have no body, there's always that part of me that's like, maybe he's still out there. I'm holding out hope. But, I just had a birthday. He normally calls me. We always normally talk it up for the holidays, and I haven't heard from him. He has a son that will be 2 years old in February.
Wow.
And he was so excited about that. He was excited about eventually going back into the recording studio. He has made some of his best music in the last year or two.
Right.
And so he had a lot going on. And for that to be, for him to just be gone like this is unbelievable. And my biggest thing is somebody is going to pay.
Right. So, and
Of course.
And Ms. Harris, a question I want to ask you too, though, is that like doing his like up to, like you said, he had a great career coming up. Was he going through? Did you notice like before all this, and him with the group, were they like struggling at the time to get a hit, or was it like, did you see like if they were in a group together? The Zach, I know you didn't know him, but I know that they were in a group or he was in a music group. Where did you see any clashes or hear anything like on social media about clashing?
Zach was not in the band. Zach was just like, I think, a mutual friend that music community. They
Right.
all kind of know each other, but he was not in my son's band. Zach can't sing. He can't play an instrument.
Okay.
I don't know. He just followed, I believe, closely through the music scene with them. And like I said, I had never heard or seen Zach Styles in my life up until August 8th of 2023.
Looks like he just hangs out where they play or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. You know how it goes. Like I said, yeah, around there, he's the guy. Sound like he's the guy, or everybody, make sure he puts himself in the scene or whatever.
Yeah. Miss Tamika, you guys don't have a Facebook group for created? I looked before you came on. A lot of these cases that you have these Facebook groups and there's discussions like this, and people are always posting, whether it's theories, updates, photos, and some of these Facebook groups get a lot of stuff done. They just take a life of their own, and they can blow up, which is good because the more people that are helping you with information, it might be something to look into.
Mm-hmm. We do have a Find Corey group.
There's a group out there.
Yeah. And then there is another one, and then Samara and myself, we kind of had a group with Ruben, and we share a lot of stuff. Because Ruben is another one. He was really instrumental in us getting a lot of the answers that we got, and so has Samara. Samara is like, I have adopted her because she has been a true trooper and helping me get answers and look in places that I wouldn't have known to look. And she has a way of getting answers, you know. Uh, so yeah, we have a fine Corey group. It was two. Initially, I was in the first one. This is when everything first happened, but it was just too overwhelming for me, and so I kind of backed up from it. But there's another one, a Fine Corey group that I'm very much active in, and I could find. I think it's Fine Corey or Where is Corey? It's called Where is Corey?
Where is Corey? Cheryl
Where is
has it
Corey?
in. She's put it in the comment section, guys. If you want to join it, I'm gonna copy it, put it in the description box along with Tamika's social media. And man, this is crazy case. It's just mind-boggling the way that ties in and stuff. And it's aggravating that you're going through this with you have beyond patience. You have some strength in you that you probably didn't even know you possessed. You you know what I mean? This is it's just crazy to hear this just getting talked about.
Yeah, I definitely subscribe to on the TikTok. I think somebody put a link in there. So.
It's all in the description box. I have all her stuff. She's
I get what you meant offline on that. So you already know. So, but yeah, I just want to. I'm gonna jump off, but I want to say, Miss Harris, I definitely get with Matt on it. You stay in good spirits, man. And like I said, I'm more of a positive person, and I know you're a mother, and you know, but I'm gonna say, hey, Corey's still, you know what I'm saying? Corey's still around here. Maybe it's something else that some other stuff, but again, no matter what, whoever did it, they're gonna have to come forward. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever's in the dark got to come to the light. So I want to salute you, give you your roses. You know what I'm saying? And you keep your head up. Make sure you stay positive. Because again, I think more you getting this out, and I'm honored that Matt has told me about you and told me he wanted to talk to you about it. And I just happened to come through the live, and it just caught my attention. True. So I want to say, yeah, it just everything happens for a reason. So Matt already know that's my guy right there. So he already know what's up. So again, salute to the chat. Y'all make sure y'all go follow this woman, man. Y'all support her. Justice for Corey. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hopefully soon, I will have her on my podcast, the Plug Podcast, and we'll go a little bit more in depth. I want to know a little bit. I'm a little different, so I want to know a little bit about the woman itself and about, how he was as a child and things of that nature, but also his singing career and what inspired him and things of that nature. So, and then to get into the other stuff as well to incorporate it. But I just want to give you roses again because I know it take a lot to get up here and tell that story. So again, salute to you, Matt. You already know, bro. And I'll talk to you guys later, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man, for coming up. Well, what else is on your mind? What else do you want to say about this? I'm going to share this all over my socials. Everything that you sent me in text, all those posters, I'm going to continually put them on my community wall. I'm probably going to make some videos about this and see if I have some other creators in the community that might try to give this some traction for some eyes. He's one of them. But there's people who specifically cover true crime and stuff. And I'm going to try to help you as best I can. Y'all make sure you go in the description box and follow her social medias for updates on this. If you want to keep up with it, definitely share the poster. It's the best thing you can do. The easiest, the most simple thing you can do. All you're doing is posting it and you're getting eyeballs and helping her.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want not only justice for Corey, but justice for Michael Bryson, justice for Forrest Dimmitt, and justice for anybody else that they've hurt. And I want it where they can't do this to anybody else because nobody deserves this. No, my son didn't deserve it. The Parishes, Tina and Michael Parrish, they didn't deserve it with their son Michael. And Forrest Demick, how they did him is just beyond ridiculous, you know. And I just don't know what goes through a person's mind to think that you could do this to people and just freely walk around and keep doing it.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's some cruel people, some true evil people, you know what I mean, to do something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, can you mute that, please? 1 second, I'll put you on speaker.
Yeah, Lone Star Queen, yeah, I want my son to be brought home. One way or the other.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, there was a wrong picture that I posted earlier, guys. Somebody was just corrected me on that. They called that the picture with the 3 people. It was the wrong picture. But the ones I'll put them on again here in a moment. The people involved with the case. There was one picture. I guess somebody made it was wrong. I don't want to put any wrong misinformation out. See the comments here. This is so heartbreaking. We really appreciate you. Are you able to read the comments?
Yeah. Thank you.
You got a lot of support.
I'm reading them. I am reading them, and just thank you guys for having me on. And again, nothing would please me more than to continue to get this information out here so we can get these people. And yes, they are very evil, brutally honest. The authorities told me that they had never seen such evil, kind of wicked darkness people than these people when they question them, when they bring them in and they question them. But the authorities said they all have come up with the same story and they're sticking to it.
Yeah, what I wanted to tell you is we have friends. We've become friends with a couple families that have missing person cases. Really close with one, and they actually have they've been having an ongoing case for 2 years now out of Tennessee, and sometimes they're dealing with like the TBI out there.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I was telling you last night, I was trying to connect you with them for the simple fact that they can go into better detail about this with you, but as far as when the authorities contact you and there's something where they're very kind of short and blunt with you, they've been dealing with that for 2 years. It's like you want to hear the whole conversation, or it's almost like the authorities want to inform you of the whole situation, but they can't for whatever reason, afraid of it to get out to the public or whatever their thinking is. But they've been dealing with that themselves for a long time. And it is, I know that they're frustrated with it because I talk to them about it all the time. But I know there's some things that they could probably, there's got to be some resources, and just talking to them is got to be able to help you, because I know you're probably going through this similar things, you know what I mean? So I'll give you their number. I'll link you up with them, off here, without a doubt. Is there anything else that people can do? Anything how can people help you besides sharing his picture?
Just pretty much just sharing not only Corey's picture, but the names Zach Styles, because I really want to crack Zach Styles. I believe if we crack him, that everything will kind of like follow suit.
Yeah, my instinct that's he's shenanigans. That's the dude, right? That's the feeling. That's what it sounds like to me. Zach, right?
Yes. And so I have just made it my mission that every day every time I feel like it, especially if you go onto my TikTok account, I'm just boosting their name because I'm like, you should not be able to go around in public places and live your best life
Yeah,
when
no doubt.
you're killing people. And I mean, even the authorities said these people also have done other stuff to people. They've done other stuff, illegal stuff. And the authorities said they just have these people have a bad habit. They do stuff and they're so very good at hiding and concealing evidence that they don't get caught. That is what the detective told me.
All right, sleuths, the people in the bushes that are going to watch this replay, the people who are not in the chat, people who are in the chat. Hey, look, for all you sleuths, you know who the gut feeling is, you know who to look at, man. And it's not hard to get a hold of Tamika. You can get a hold of all her socials are in this description of this live. So get on it, do it, look around, search, do some digging, help her out. Maui is what the last known area is, from what we believe, right?
Yes.
Help her out. Share this poster out. What I'd like to do is kind of just go over this. I'm gonna continue to cover this for you, and then maybe have you come up for updates, however you want to do it. However you want to do it, however you're comfortable, however we can help you.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that cool?
I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Text if you need anything, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try to connect you with those other families that we've helped in the past. Anything we can do to help, just let us know, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
You're good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye
You
bye.
too.
All right, man. This screen is so messed up tonight. Let's definitely pray for her tonight. Pray for her, and share that poster out. I'd like to have her come back on here. Follow her social media. It's all in the description box. What a crazy case. It's a lot of twists and turns. Let me read the chat. What do y'all think? Listen, this was. What's up, Roxy? Difficult to do at some point because I'm trying to listen. I'm putting the comments on the screen, trying to for you guys. People are sending me stuff on the phone. I'm trying to share screen. It was getting crazy there for a second, but we got through it. Styles keep connecting to a username. Nothing is. Yeah, absolutely. My love and heart goes to Miss Harris. Zachary Styles. Good luck, man. What's up, Duck and Felonies? What's up, Gina? What's happening? Happy belated birthday. Everybody has birthdays right now. Prayers to your family. Salute. Shandia, happy birthday. Stay strong, beautiful. That's cool. You guys really showed her some support. Like I said, I'm going to post these. She gave me a lot of posters. I'll put them on the screen. Let me see. Shout out to Cross for coming up here, kind of co-piloting this with me. Have you guys heard of this chat? You know, besides Samara and Carol. This guy looks like a look at this dude. Maui. California to Maui. So this is what I was talking about. I got a lot of these she provided me with. I'll post them this week multiple times. There's one on my community now. I believe we're coming up on it. Hold on. It's super strange. Some people were asking about lie detector test or polygraph test. I don't think it got that deep. It seems like there's question asked, and he turned the phone in, and she said what she said to him. And Dude dipped out. But we can help her, man. I believe we can help her. At least we can try. That's what counts. I feel you, Matt. You did great. Thanks for doing this. No problem. I love helping families. Such an extremely sad story and sad month for so many sending prayers. Yeah, 100%. First time for me. I haven't heard about it either until after 2 days ago. Until you brought it as a light. No, only heard on your channel first. Prayers for Noel and you. That dude looks like a tweaker. He does look like a tweaker, 100%. He looks like he goes and listens to the music. He's doing that club scene type of thing. And seen it here first. Hope it ends. Hope it gets out in the true crime community. She needs answers. She needs her son home. That's 100% true. Lone Star, you were saying there's a case that sounds like this out by you, huh? He's an active drug addict from his friend's word. But they gotta know something. Please let them. So what I was trying to tell her, I don't think she's too familiar with Don or Little Summer, but that happens a lot with them without me saying too much. Authorities can talk to the parents and tell them only so much about a certain subject. And it might be just a little bit. That's all they'll say. Sounds like that's got to be so hard for her, though. She's strong. She's strong because there's no closure, and that's she's a strong woman. We got to pray for her. We got to do this. We got to share it for her. I'd like to bring her back on again, y'all. Her social media links are in the description box. She did not ask me for her. She didn't send me her Cash App or nothing, but I did ask her what her Cash App was, and I put it in the description box. I'll probably pin her when this re-uploads on YouTube. I'm going to pin the comment for her Cash App or all her stuff, all her socials and all that. But she didn't ask. I asked her in case anybody wants to support or whatever. Tyrese Gibson, they know he was murdered, but nobody, his mama is suffering. It's kind of the same. Where'd it go? It's kind of the same thing going on, except our law. Okay, gotcha. He knows what was posted. Hey, not a problem. Styles or something else, Shandia wants to know. That is a good question. How do you spell the last name? Is it regular Styles? Yeah, Samara, I cleared it up a minute ago. Thank you, Nene. I appreciate the support. I believe you said you subscribed before. Thank you so much for the support. Styles. Okay, thank you for that. It's on the screen. Shandia. So we'll have her back on. Maybe Samara. The Facebook group that you sent, Carol. That's it's got a few members, but I'm really surprised this thing hasn't taken off. Hopefully it will. Those groups do wonders. I'm gonna post this in Reddit. I have social media everywhere: Reddit, Tumblr, Getter, Twitter, Insta, Facebook, Minds, everything. VK, I have LinkedIn. I got any. If it's there, I have it. And when I'm done with my YouTube videos, I put it in each platform. So his name will get known tonight. Tamika's an admin of that group. Good. Not a Hawaiian name either. They're out of North Fort Cali. But that's it, guys. I'm going to make a couple videos on this. Like I said, I'll post on the community. Let's pray for her tonight. Keep her strong. Hopefully Cross follows up with her. I'm going to put Cross's channel name in the description. Cross, good channel, friend of the channel. But this case is crazy. We're going to keep on it. We're going to keep on it. But let's try to help her, guys. That's what it's about. I'm going to jump off here. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Not a problem. Not a problem. Look, I didn't do anything. You guys don't have to thank me like that. All I did was let her talk. That's it. But I appreciate the love. I really do. Let's help her though, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's help her. She's going through a lot. No closure, no answers. And that sucks. That sucks. But thank you guys, everybody, for being supportive while she was in here. And you guys showed her a lot of love. That's awesome. All right, y'all. Much love and respect. I'm going to jump off. Until the next one. Peace.